Consumption function of GDP, exploring its impact on economic growth. Agenda. Introduction to GDP. The role of consumption in GDP. Factors influencing consumption. Theories of consumption function. Impact of consumption on economic growth. Definition and components of GDP. Definition of gross domestic product. GDP is defined as the total economic output of a country, representing the sum of consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports. Consumption. Consumption refers to the total value of all goods and services consumed by households, which is a significant part of GDP. Investment. Investment includes business expenditures on capital goods that enhance production capacity, contributing significantly to GDP. Government spending. Government spending comprises expenditures on public goods and services, which play a crucial role in the economy and GDP. Net exports. Net exports are calculated as the value of a country's exports minus its imports and are fundamental to GDP calculations. Importance of GDP in economics. Economic growth insights. GDP offers valuable insights into the economic growth of a country, showing trends over time. Living standards assessment. GDP helps assess living standards by indicating the average income and consumption levels in a nation. International comparisons. GDP serves as a benchmark for comparing economic performance between countries, aided in policy decisions. Methods of calculating GDP. Production approach. The production approach calculates GDP based on the total value of goods and services produced in an economy. Income approach. The income approach determines GDP by measuring total income earned by individuals and businesses in the economy. Expenditure approach. The expenditure approach calculates GDP by adding up total spending on the nation's final goods and services. Definition of consumption function. Understanding consumption function. The consumption function illustrates the direct relationship between consumption levels and income changes, helping analyze consumer spending behavior. Consumer behavior insights. This concept is crucial for understanding how consumers adjust their spending based on variations in their income levels. Components of consumption in GDP. Durable goods. Durable goods include items that last for a long time, such as vehicles and appliances, impacting economic stability. Non-durable goods. Non-durable goods are items consumed quickly, like food and toiletries, playing a vital role in daily consumption. Services. Services encompass activities such as healthcare, education, and entertainment, significantly contributing to GDP. Share of consumption in GDP. Consumption's role in GDP. Consumption typically accounts for over 60% of GDP in developed economies, highlighting its significance in economic health. Impact on economic cycles. Understanding consumption's share in GDP is crucial for analyzing consumer spending trends and their impact on economic cycles. Consumer spending trends. Trends in consumer spending can provide insights into overall economic performance and future market conditions. Factors influencing consumption. Income levels and consumption. Higher income levels typically result in increased consumption, highlighting the direct relationship between them. Disposable income impact. Individuals with more disposable income tend to spend more on goods and services, affecting overall economic growth. Consumption function. The consumption function illustrates how consumption varies with income, demonstrating foundational economic principles. Consumer confidence and expectations. Importance of consumer confidence. Consumer confidence significantly influences spending patterns, driving economic growth and stability. Optimism and spending. When consumers feel optimistic about their financial outlook, they are more inclined to increase their spending. Impact on the economy. Higher consumer confidence can lead to increased demand for goods and services, benefiting the overall economy. Interest rates and borrowing. Impact of interest rates. Interest rates directly influence borrowing costs and thus consumer spending behaviors in the economy. Lower interest rates. Lower interest rates tend to encourage borrowing, leading to increased consumer spending and economic growth. Higher interest rates. Higher interest rates can deter borrowing and consumption, potentially slowing down economic activity. Theories of consumption function. Keynesian consumption function. Current consumption. The Keynesian consumption function suggests that current consumption levels are directly related to current income levels. Influence of income. Income plays a crucial role in determining consumer spending habits and overall economic activity. Permanent income hypothesis, consumption decisions. People consider their long term income expectations when making consumption decisions, not just current income. Long term income perspective. The hypothesis emphasizes the importance of a long term view on income, influencing spending habits. Economic behavior. Understanding the permanent income hypothesis helps explain various consumer behaviors in economics. Life cycle hypothesis, consumption planning. Individuals strategize their consumption to align with their anticipated income changes throughout their life. Savings behavior. Savings behavior is influenced by expected future income, leading to different strategies across life stages. Life stages impact. Different life stages require adjustments in savings and consumption to maintain financial stability. Short term effects on GDP, impact of consumption. Increased consumption directly contributes to short term GDP growth by boosting demand for goods and services. Business response. Businesses often ramp up production and services in response to higher consumer demand, further stimulating economic growth. Long term economic growth, sustained consumption. Sustained levels of consumption drive demand, which encourages businesses to invest in expansion and innovation. Investment encouragement. Increased consumer demand leads to higher levels of investment from businesses, fostering economic growth. Innovation and productivity. Investment in innovation boosts productivity, leading to enhanced economic performance and growth over time. Policy implications and government measures stimulating consumption. Tax cuts and increased government spending are common policies aimed at stimulating consumer demand during economic downturns. Economic growth strategies. Governments utilize various strategies, including fiscal policies, to bolster economic growth during challenging economic periods. Conclusion. Importance of consumption function. Understanding the consumption function helps us comprehend its significant impact on GDP and economic growth. Influencing factors. Analyzing the various factors that influence consumption allows for better predictions of economic trends. Policy implications. Informed policy decisions can be made by understanding consumption trends and their effects on the economy. Thank you.